News in detail. Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority MERA has confirmed the increase of prices of petroleum products in the country effective 1st October 2025. Consumer Affairs and Public Relations Manager for MERA, Fitina Konje, said that the main contributing factor of the increase is the exchange rate that has resulted into the overall increase of the prices. Details in this report by Juliana Mlongama, read by Telson Magombo.
According to MERA, petrol is now selling at 3,499 kwacha per litre from 2,530 kwacha per litre, an increase of 38%, while diesel is now at 3,500 kwacha per litre from 2,734 kwacha per litre, an increase of 28%. Speaking to MBC, Public Relations Manager for MERA, Fitina Konje, said the authority is working to ensure steady supply of the commodity.
These are imported products, so their pricing majorly depends on the prices of fuel on the international market and the exchange rate of the Malawi kwacha to the US dollar. So the main factor this time has been the exchange rate. With this, the importers were actually being quoted a higher rate and therefore resulting into overall an increase in the cost they are bringing fuel into this country. So like any other business, when you are selling a product, it has to be sold at a reasonable price as well as the price at which you can be able to recover your costs. So the way we were moving was quite unsustainable in the country. As you are aware, the last time that the prices were reviewed was in November 2023. Since then, there have been changes in the cost of bringing these products into the country, but we were not expecting the changes. So now it came to a point where it was absolutely necessary to effect a price adjustment to ensure that these importers still have the capability to bring fuel into the country, to ensure that consumers are still able to access fuel on the market. Obviously, it has an impact because, as we are saying, we have to enable the players in the fuel industry to sustain their businesses, to be able to recover their costs. So the prices at which we have set now, they will enable them to continue to bring the products into the country. On the other hand, of course, there is an issue of availability of forex, and we do believe that other agencies are supposed to work on that. But in terms of pricing, which is our mandate as MERA, we have done what we were required to do to ensure that the price is relevant and the price enables the players in the fuel industry to recover their costs and should be reasonable.
However, the automatic pricing mechanisms is revised when changes in the petroleum landed costs are beyond 5% trigger limit.
The Malawi Electoral Commission has officially announced parliamentary election results for 224 constituencies out of the 229 constituencies in the country. From the 229, electoral results for 2 constituencies have been nullified, whilst in the other 3, the elections were either postponed or cancelled due to a court order or death. Out of the 224 constituencies, DPP leads the pack with 70 members of parliament, followed by the independent members of parliament, and the Malawi Congress Party comes third with slightly over 50 members of parliament. The Malawi Electoral Commission chairperson, Justice Annabel Ntalimanja, has so far described the elections as free and fair.
And we declare that the parliamentary elections were free and fair, and the results that we are declaring reflect the will of the people in their respective constituencies. Therefore, in accordance with sections 96, 97 and 98 of the Presidential, Parliamentary and Local Government Elections Act, I, Justice Annabel Ntalimanja, hereby declare the following candidates as having been duly elected as members of Parliament.
Chairlady of the 50-50 campaign, D. Jamdala, has urged women in Malawi to remain active in politics regardless of the outcome of the 2025 general elections. Ndala told MBC in an interview that continuous empowerment is vital for women to meaningfully participate and attain leadership positions. Margaret Mapando reports.
Official and unofficial results from this year's elections show that women have struggled to make significant gains. Out of 331 female parliamentary aspirants, only 49 secured seats. At the local government level, fewer than 30 women were elected from 534 aspiring council positions. Chairlady of the 50-50 campaign, Dija Mdala, whose organization supports female aspirants, admits the numbers fall short of their target of electing 100 women to parliament. She attributes the setback to challenges such as limited resources, which weakened women's ability to compete effectively.
We are just encouraging those who have been advocating for 50-50 campaign to continue. They should not stop, but we are insisting that please help that woman, empower her, give her enough resources, and we will see things changing. Where are we going to get these resources? We are suggesting that the government should not just rely on donors to champion this 50-50 campaign project.
Meanwhile, Malawi Human Rights Resource Center Executive Director Emma Galia has expressed disappointment with the outcome, describing the results as unsatisfactory. She says the figures do not reflect the investment made in promoting women's participation, stressing that mindset change is essential if the country is to fully embrace women in leadership.
If Malawians decided to vote for women, I think we would have been talking of a different story. So Malawians have to change the attitude of looking at women as those that cannot, be in leadership. Secondly, again, it is the issue of quota. This is about the same parliament and also the government to understand that it is time now that Malawi has to shift from the way we do things. We need to understand when there is a proposal in Parliament, it should be accepted. When there is a proposal to the government, they should understand that it is necessary.
Despite progress, women's political representation remains low. Stakeholders believe that with adequate resources and support, women can make a stronger impact in shaping Malawi's future. Margaret Mabando, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Mzuzu City Council has urged vendors and communities in the city to join hands in ending illegal vending in the city. The call was made during a meeting held in Mzuzu, where stakeholders emphasized the importance of working with government in order to bring positive change in the country. Daniel Nyirongo has filed this report read by Jackson Sichali.
Due to the rising number of street vendors in the city, Mzuzu City Council brought together stakeholders, including vendors, police and political member representatives, to discuss ways of addressing the problem. Speaking during the meeting, Mzuzu City Council Chief Executive Officer Gomeziani Nyasolo said the gathering was aimed at finding lasting solutions to illegal vending, which continues to affect the operations of the council.
What we were discussing was the issue to do with how can we make our city clean and green again. One of the areas which we focused was the issue of how the illegal vending, which has become so rampant in our city. We realized that for that problem to be solved, we needed the inputs from these stakeholders which we invited. So what has come out to clearly is we need to start enforcing that anyone doing business, he should be doing business from a legitimate place.
Meanwhile, the Mzuzu Main Market chairperson, Alexander Squese, said the initiative will help in addressing the challenge of traders who abandon designated markets and sell their goods along the roads.
The issue was about locating people from who are selling outside the market to go inside the respective markets. Because now if you can see Mzuzu is very dirty and people are doing BSc everywhere, the place which are not allowed to be selling businesses.
The meeting further underscored the need for tolerance and collaboration between vendors and the council. The council is expected to roll out a sensitization campaign on the dangers of illegal vending across the city.
You're watching MBC News. A reminder of our top stories. Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority MERA confirms increase of pump prices for petroleum products in the country. Mzuzu City Council urges vendors and communities in the city to join hands in ending illegal vending. And in sports, the Netball Association of Malawi, NAM, in discussions with the Ministry of Youth and Sports over recruitment of a permanent coach for the Malawi national netball team.
The Malawi government proudly announces the swearing-in of the President-elect, Professor Azasintha Mutharika, and Vice President-elect, Dr. Jane Ansah, SC, Justice of Appeal, retired. This historical occasion also marks the inauguration of the 7th President of the Republic of Malawi. The ceremony will start at 6 a.m. with prayers and then swearing in and inauguration, culminating in a speech by the brand new president, Professor Azasintha Mutharika, at the Kamuzu Stadium in Blantyre on the 4th of October 2025.
To ensure that citizens across the country participate in this momentous occasion, government has arranged public viewpoints across the country as follows: Lilongwe Civil Stadium, Mzuzu Katoto Freedom Park, Mangochi Stadium.
Be part of this momentous occasion and witness a peaceful transition of power for our beloved nation. The 4th of October 2025, the day of our nation.
Welcome back. A public health expert says Malawi could be meeting its target in the Abuja Declaration on Health, a treaty in which African countries pledged to allocate 15% of their national budget towards the health sector. Godfrey Maocha has a report.
In October 2001, African Union member states made a commitment to allocate at least 15% of their national budget to the health sector. On paper, Malawi is among countries that are seen to be struggling in meeting the obligation. However, Dr. Matthew Zingwale feels Malawi is already meeting the target through funds allocated to other sectors who have an impact on health.
Minister of Health. So if you calculate the Abuja Declaration, you find that Malawi is maybe at 10%. But then there's also health issues in the Ministry of Agriculture. For example, there's AIDS issues in Ministry of Agriculture. There's water issues in other ministries as well. So we've got our expenditures which are not being taken care of because they are not in the Ministry of Health. We don't even have, for example, HIV and AIDS issues. They've been in other ministries to look into HIV and AIDS. And the government has been spending money in those ministries on HIV and AIDS. When you work out the Abuja Declaration, those monies are not included. They only take the money that has been given to the Minister of Health.
Betha Bangara Chigadza is the president of the Economic Association of Malawi, ECAMA. She agrees with Dr. Ngwale. She says, for example, investments in agriculture lead to an improved nutrition, which has a positive bearing towards health.
The observation is valid in that indirectly Malawi could meet the Abuja Declaration on Health, which mandates governments to allocate 15% of the national budget to the health sector. You know, some sectors are linked to health. For example, we're talking about water boards and others. And funds allocated to these sectors, including funds used to recapitalize the state-owned enterprise, like these water boards, have a clear impact on public health. For instance, the 2025-2026 national budget allocated 9.2% of the total budget to health and 9% to agriculture. Although the health allocation falls short of the 15% Abuja target, investments in agriculture contribute to improved nutrition and health outcomes, helping to cover gaps in the health budget. Similarly, efficient investments in water utilities reduce the incidence of waterborne diseases, and this directly benefits the health sector. So to accurately capture these cross-sectoral impacts, it is important that economists and statisticians need to collect and model data using econometric tools, and also ensuring that the contribution of other sectors to health outcomes is properly accounted for. Thank you.
Concurring with Chigadza and Dr. Ngwale is another economist, Dr. Frederick Mangwanya Banda, who teaches in the Department of Economics.
It is indeed true that economists should help work on how data regarding the allocation to the health sector is computed by, among others, considering areas that have an impact on health, such as agriculture, nutrition, and water. This will help. It is indeed true that economists should help work on how data regarding the allocation to the health sector is computed by, among others, considering areas that have an impact on health, such as agriculture, nutrition, and water. This will help.
In the past, Malawi government had health-related initiatives like the Department of Nutrition, HIV and AIDS, which fell under the Office of the President and Cabinet, and the Presidential Initiative on Safe Motherhood, among others. Godfrey Maucha, MBC News, Blantyre.
More than 3,000 young people from peri-urban areas in Lilongwe have so far accessed youth-friendly sexual and reproductive health services through the Connect Malawi Plus project being implemented by UNESCO. The project, which targets youth communities around health facilities in Biwi, Area 18, Kangoma and Bwaila Hospital, is using peer-to-peer approaches to empower adolescent girls and young women against HIV and teenage pregnancies. Doreen Sonani reports.
Cases of teenage pregnancies, early marriages, school dropouts and high vulnerability to HIV infection are common in most peri-urban areas of the country. The 2024 Malawi Demographic and Health Survey shows that 32% of girls in Malawi have been pregnant at the age of 15, with 19% of them based in urban areas. To address this, UNESCO, through its Lilongwe office, is implementing the Connect Malawi Plus project with funding from UK-based VIV Healthcare Positive Action Programme. UNECO's Program Support Manager, Hughes Muntali, said the initiative promotes innovative peer-to-peer interventions that connect young people with accurate sexual and reproductive health information and services. Muntali said so far the project has enabled over 3,000 youths in peri-urban areas to access youth-friendly services, including HIV testing and counseling in communities around Area 18, Bwaila Hospital, Biwi and Kangoma Health Centers, among others.
We have seen tremendous, even the health workers from these facilities are actually excited about how these young people are interacting with fellow young people and how they are also supporting them by accompanying them to access services. You might also appreciate, even for a young person to access services related to sexually transmitted infection screening and treatment, it's quite a challenge. But with coming of these adolescent peer mobilizers under the Connect Malawi Plus, we have seen young people being supported on time.
Chairperson for the PA Mobilizers, Benedetta Baluti, who also operates at Biwi and surrounding areas, says peer-led interventions have been critical in ensuring that youth access free SRH services.
Sometimes you may find other health workers, they say, if you want this treatment, give us 2,000, give us money. We don't give that for free, so it's my law for the youths to receive that treatment for free.
Tracy Sainani from Biwi location is one of the youths that benefited from Baluti's interventions.
Through my peer educator who stays closer to my home here in Biwi, I was able to learn and know more about HIV and AIDS and HIV testing. Through her, I learned more about how to take care of myself and my health.
Meanwhile, the Connect Malawi Plus project, which was launched in 2022, has received a 7-month extension to enable the peer educators reach out to more young people with not only access to care, but also hope for a healthier and empowered future. Doreen Sonani, MBC News, Lilongwe.
National Bank of Malawi has described communication as an important aspect towards attaining the Malawi 2063 development blueprint. National Bank's Marketing and Corporate Affairs Manager, Akosa Hiwa, made the remarks as the bank handed over a check worth 8 million kwacha to the Public Relations Society of Malawi as a boost towards this year's PRSM annual conference, scheduled to take place from 30 October to 2nd November in Mzuzu. According to Hiwa, the bank is impressed with PRSM's efficiency of capacitating PR professionals in Malawi with the required skills needed to excel in their profession.
As National Bank of Malawi, we know that public relations and communications is not just a side thing. It is the lifeblood of every institution and every connection between 2 or 3 human beings. There needs to be communication. Therefore, we are very appreciative of the role that they're playing, and we look forward also to what will be discussed at this year's conference, which is focusing on building the Malawi that we wish to have and utilizing or leveraging on communication as a catalyst for change. You will know that every vision that is out there will remain just a vision if it is not taken out to the people through communication, if it is not communicated effectively and cascaded to stakeholders, whether it's customers, general stakeholders, internal clients or internal staff members who have to carry out that vision. It is essential to be able to communicate that effectively. For this reason, National Bank of Malawi has supported PRSM once again. We believe that this conference is going to bring about a lot of knowledge sharing and sharing of best practices, and that those that participate in this conference will walk away and implement these effective measures within their collective institutions.
Receiving the check, PRSM Vice President Rachel Kalera-Mhango thanked National Bank for consistently supporting them, stressing on the importance of the conference to PR practitioners. The conference this year is being conducted under the theme, Building the Malawi We Want by 2063, leveraging an effective communication as a change catalyst.
As Public Relations Society of Malawi, we are very excited and very grateful to National Bank for the generous support that they have given us to Public Relations Society of Malawi. They have been one of our longest supporters in various activities that we hold, and this also actually shows how committed they are to the profession and the work that the society is doing. This conference is very important because it is a platform that brings together practitioners from the public relations, communication, and across different sectors. We're talking about government, the public sector, the corporate sector, NGOs, and also international organizations. So we come together. It's a platform for network, trainings, and also building effective skills for public relations and communication. Our theme this year is Building the Malawi We Want by 2063, leveraging on effective communication as a change catalyst. As you might be aware, we might talk about 2063, but if there's no mindset change, if there's no dedication in wanting the change that we are talking about, we might not achieve anything. And for us to achieve whatever we want to achieve, there has to be effective communication.
And finally, in sports, the Netball Association of Malawi says it is still in discussions with the Ministry of Youth and Sports over the recruitment of a permanent coach for the Malawi national netball team. NAM has appointed Peace Chawinga and Gavin Yondo as interim coaches for the Malawi Queens and Kings on a 4-month contract. Praise Majawa reports.
Chawinga, who previously co-coached the Queens with Mary Wire, will now lead the team after Wire excused herself due to work commitments at the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Marano Tevetea has been named her assistant, while Frankie Kuntendere will assist Nyondo. According to NAM General Secretary Yamikani Kauma, the two coaches will guide the national teams in upcoming assignments, including the African Netball Cup in December, which Malawi will host.
We have been engaging with the Sports Council in the government if there will be possibilities of employing a permanent coach so that the government can pay the coach. But still more, we want to also to balance up, because we also are looking for international coaches. If we can manage to get an international expatriate according maybe to their needs, if we can meet their needs, balance up with the local coaching.
Their first test will be at the end of this month when the Queens and the Kings play 2 international friendlies against Zimbabwe and Botswana. Both squads began camping in Blantyre on Tuesday. Praise Majawa, MBC Sport Blantyre.
Well, that item concludes this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories before we leave. Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority confirms increase of pump prices of petroleum products in the country. Mzuzu City Council urges vendors and communities in the city to join hands in ending illegal vending. And in sports, the Netball Association of Malawi in discussions with the Ministry of Youth and Sports over recruitment of a permanent coach for the Malawi national netball team. You were with me, Upili Kaisa. Many thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Good morning, and it's time for weather forecast. We are currently expecting partly cloudy conditions accompanied by isolated rain showers to persist over the country. We are also expecting windy conditions to persist over most areas, and Mwela winds will also be continuing to blow over our lake water bodies such as Lake Malawi and Lake Chirwa. Hence, we are still advising all lake users, including fishermen, to continue being very observant. This is all due to the influence of this outgoing high pressure system, which is still pumping in moist and cool southeasterlies into the country, influencing these activities. This is why this morning cloudy conditions are persisting over the north, accompanied by windy conditions as well as isolated rain showers. Partly cloudy conditions are, however, dominating the south as well as the central part of the country. Temperatures are also feeling mild this